In today's video, we're going to go over Daraja's body composition results from October until February.
Sweet.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com, and we have a special guest in town today, her final check-in before the Arnold Sports Fest, Daraja Hill.
Hello.
I'm going to do a little applause thing. So Daraja came up last night, and we got to do some stuff today, which included going to the University of South Florida, where they've been doing some body comp testing on Daraja for
2 years now.
a couple years. We got a lot of data on you. So it's pretty cool to see that they're interested in kind of physique athletes.
Yeah, because that's not something that's super researched right now.
And so the thing about getting results, if you go get your body fat tested one way and your muscle tested another way, the results can kind of be inconsistent. But we've done it with the same people at the same location and the same kind of exact
consistency.
Yeah, the ultrasound. So they're actually measuring the thickness. I'll overlay some footage that I got today of that experience, but we wanted to go over the results because as we've been in prep for the Arnold, the weight's been a little high.
A little.
But I think this will be a good example. Now, we're probably not going to show any footage of Daraja's physique because, we're only 10 days out from getting on stage and no need to,
Yeah, I don't want to spoil the surprise.
You guys want to see her, you tune into the Arnold Classic. But what I do want to point out is that weight is not the only thing that determines success.
Yeah,
they're not weighing you on
stage. The only thing that
stage.
determines progress. There's a lot that goes into it.
But still, it does mess with our head a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we as competitors, I compete, Daraja competes, we kind of get to know ourselves, and you think, is it a good thing?
Even as a pro, people probably assume that I've done this before, so I'm immune to that kind of thing, but I am not.
Everything with Daraja is a first right now. So this is her first Arnold. This is the first time we've ever done a show this close together. So her last show was in September, or was it October? What was the last?
September 28th.
28th, yeah. So then, we basically got very little off season, a few weeks essentially, and then we started prep for the Arnold. And then 2020 is going to be very full. So let's go over the results because I think it's very interesting to see just how your body has changed just since October. So 1 week after her last pro show, which was the Michigan Powerhouse Pro, which she actually won. So that's a good indicator that we were in a good spot. It's not just that you competed. It was very good. So let's talk about lean body mass because that's, I think, the most important one that we're going to go over. So what was your lean body mass in October?
So it said 102 point something pounds of lean mass.
So 102 point something pounds of lean mass after your show. So we had kind of refilled glycogen stores. You were carved up a little bit. You're 5'2". So that was a good indicator that, okay, 102 is kind of a good baseline. And then this morning, we checked it and your lean body mass was
106.8.
So we've added a significant amount. Maybe even 4 to 5 pounds of lean body mass. Now, before everyone goes, oh my gosh, she added 5 pounds of muscle. No, lean body mass is not just muscle. That is a portion of lean body mass. But I wanted to kind of get the results kind of similar. So we did carb you up a little bit. So you're not depleted.
Yeah.
So your glycogen stores are in a similar position. But similarly, your body fat has also changed. So what was your body fat in October?
In October, it was 13.45.
And then today?
It's 11.4.
So we're down 2% body fat, up 4 to 5 pounds of lean body mass. So, I mean, you can't ask for better results than that.
You can't, especially, with the limited time that we had.
Yeah.
For an off season.
Yeah.
It was about 8 weeks, I think.
Yeah, it was 8 weeks, but you did a good job staying close. So we didn't have to panic, and we haven't had to be.
Yeah, we were careful.
Yeah, we've taken a very good, but even in your prep prior, between Miami Nationals and North Americans, you had come in leaner with more muscle. So this is a trend we've noticed with you.
Yeah, I respond well.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the approach after getting your Olympia qualification and then going to Powerhouse Pro. I think we probably talked a little bit about applying for the Arnold. So was your mindset, okay, I've got to kind of be responsible?
Yeah, it definitely helped. I think kind of having that idea that I might be getting on stage at one of the biggest shows in our community in this sport. So to think that I was going to be on that stage, possibly, I wasn't, it wasn't too hard to hope that I could stay in a decent area, body fat wise, body composition wise, be consistent, and stick with the plan, because then what are you going to do if you're 30 pounds up and you say, we get the invite?
Well, so for those that aren't familiar with the Arnold Classic, it is the most exclusive bodybuilding competition there is. It is invitation only. I think there were 17 girls initially invited. One dropped out, Ashley, who had an injury. So now there's only 16 girls competing at this show versus the Olympia, which is perhaps the biggest title. But I believe there was over 40 girls qualified for the Olympia.
Yeah, it was big.
Yeah, so this is a bit more exclusive. It's very limited. So just the idea, this is a dream come true for me as a coach. And then this is your third pro show?
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So you're probably definitely the least experienced competitor getting on that stage.
Yes. I think it's funny looking at the when you click onto the Arnold site and you click on the names, it shows the resume, or not the show resume.
Yeah, it shows all their placings.
And there's so many shows for all the girls, and I have two.
Well, I remember when we applied, thank you to Jesse Palmer, who really kind of helped us out with that approach. But, I was like, make sure you throw in there, because it only asks you for the IFBB shows.
I
was like, make sure you let them know you were at North Americans and won the overall. So I think that was important. So let's talk a little bit about your approach to dieting, because I know with contest prep and with competitors, there's a lot of kind of different ways to approach it, and right or wrong. I'm not going to say that, but I'm going to talk about our approach with the idea of a flexible, structured approach to dieting. So give us some of your go-to foods that you like to have consistently during prep.
So favorite protein sources right off the bat are shrimp, because it's low fat and it's super easy for my body to digest. It really breaks it down nice and easy. Steak, like lean steak, sirloin, cuts like that, or sometimes ground beef, but it's usually like the leaner beef. Those are my top three. I don't do well with chicken or turkey consistently. My body I tend to bloat and it doesn't respond well, so I kind of stay away from those. And I don't really eat much fish. Salmon.
No tilapia?
Nah.
Well, are you even a bodybuilder? Okay. So let's talk about some other things that we do that, I as a coach, I consider it to be non-conventional, but I consider it to be kind of also essential in that not a lot of people use free meals. So tell me some of the free meals that you've been able to have during the process. Like some of the foods, like you go on a date and you get to go out and have some food.
Yeah, I've had a burger.
Yep.
I usually try to stick with those pretty consistently and from the same place in prep. If I know that my body responds well to that food and it's made consistently from the same restaurant, I have an idea of how we're going to take it, and if it's going to be a good response or a bad response. But if it's a good one, I just stick with that. I don't try to change it up.
Yeah, and that's I think the
greedy.
misconception is with flexible dieting is that you're just eating all these random foods. And the one thing that we really try to do is, although we have some flexibility, is stick with foods that we digest well, that are good for us, that we kind of look forward to eating. We're not ever eating tilapia and asparagus unless you tell me man, I just love tilapia and asparagus. Asparagus
is one vegetable I do enjoy only because it's low carb and it's easy digesting. It's not very fibrous, but it's not because I believe it. It's I don't eat it for the diuretic properties.
Sure,
I think that some people might eat.
That'd be silly. That's not the point of eating weeks out from a competition.
But with free meals, honestly, sometimes what the nice thing with flexibility is I don't really crave anything.
Right.
So sometimes my free meal is just an extra bowl of cereal and a protein shake. So.
Well, and then we'll get into a little bit talking about building muscle and keeping muscle in prep. The one thing that I have found that has been really helpful with not only Daraja but many of my clients is the diet break, which is essentially we bring up calories to maintenance levels and drop cardio down to very minimal for a week at a time.
Which is counterintuitive for most people.
It's scary because you're like, okay, I'm not stage lean yet, and we're not going to grind. But talk to me about how that's kind of impacted you.
My body has responded well every single time.
Yeah.
We've either maintained weight as we bring calories up and cardio down, or we see a drop.
Yeah.
Which is ideal because that means our metabolism is in a great place.
Well, and that's the other thing that we found, that in your prep from 2018 to 2019, your resting metabolic rate actually increased even though your body fat was lower.
Yep.
So we didn't get to test that today because they were a little behind schedule, but we are going to be doing some documentation of your prep for the Olympia, so we can then, find out how your metabolic rate has changed. But I would expect with you adding muscle, that's probably one of the biggest ways we can positively impact your metabolism.
Absolutely.
So with that 4 pounds of 5 pounds of added muscle, let's talk a little bit about how your training has changed in the 6 months. Well, it's not even been 6 months since October, but basically since August, when you did your first amateur show, the Tampa Amateur, and to North Americans. What strikes you as a difference in your training that has caused this growth? I
feel like, well, you took over my training after North Americans.
I mean, I started giving you more specific training protocols, but do you think it was more, you put more effort, there was more specificity, You
know what, the biggest, now that I think about it, it really was, I got excited to grow again. Before, we were worried about me being too big for the division.
Yeah.
And so I was scared to really push myself to those, limits in my training and really get in there and grind. But once we got that pro card and we got that, okay from Sandy to get on the pro stage, it was like a kid in a candy store for me. I was like, I get to train, I get to lift, I get to grow. So that was what I think the biggest change was, because then I got excited to get to the gym.
Yeah, I think when we saw you on stage in Miami, you were 118, 119 at 5'2", and you were definitely the thickest, most muscled girl in your class.
And I think we were like...
You got fourth.
15, no, like percent body fat wise, we were up there.
Oh, yeah. So I think coming down in body fat let us actually see that, it's not that you were just needed to be leaner, but you also actually put on muscle and got leaner, and that really changes things. So once you turn pro and then you step on the pro stage and you compare, now we know, and the bikini division's changed a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So they're not afraid of letting girls show off their physiques anymore.
Yep, because that's where that shape comes from.
Yeah. So... All right, guys, so get excited. I think what we're going to do in the next couple of weeks, we'll do a full day of eating with Daraja. If you have any other things you'd like to see, I've hired someone. We're going to document the day of the Arnold.
So excited.
She goes on stage on Saturday. We get into town on Wednesday. We have amateurs competing. Thursday, we'll be doing the expo and some events on Friday. And then Saturday is dedicated to the Arnold Classic Bikini International. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. All right, guys, anything else?
No, and if you do want to get body comp testing done, the USF Exercise Science
they are offering
community testing. So if you're in the area, you can go and get testing done.
And Daraja is now actually offering posing.
I do offer posing coaching. It is empoweredtopose.com. So if you want to book a consultation, or if you have questions, send them to my email, empoweredtopose@gmail.com.
Probably no openings next week, right?
Peak week is blocked off.
Not a girl.
And I'm pretty booked for the rest of this week. So if you are looking to book, I would look in the weeks ahead for anything like that.
All right, guys, there you have it. Natural muscle, even in prep.